It should be noted that this blade doesn't have a straight edge, kind of like how Mr. Reeves says the Sebenza has a straight edge so you can shave with it. This rounded curve, then basically, I have to push here, and this is the main area that's cutting the hair, and then of course, I have to push harder, and I'm scraping more here, and just to get these areas to contact the skin. But you can see, you get the idea. Okay, so I'm really starting to love this Shikra. So like, okay, if you guys are familiar with the paramilitary 2 blade shape, they're basically exactly the same, you see? So if you enjoy a paramilitary, you're going to enjoy this just as much. The trade-off is no moving parts, it's a fixed blade, you get a much more robust tip. Let's see. You can see throughout the blade, it's like about 5 millimeters thick here on the spine. So like I said, it's pretty neat, it's pretty good. I like this blade shape. I'm not gonna lie, when you cut something like, okay, the wood's fine, but you cut something like perhaps a cutting board when you do kitchen work, and very quickly, if you hit the board, the titanium will give way and basically roll the titanium that's polished on this side, which is giving it the razor edge. And then very quickly you have these carbides again, creating teeth. And that doesn't mean it's not sharp, doesn't mean it's not going to slice through paper, it just means that it's going to, keep snagging the paper. Now, let's see, in terms of batoning, okay, we're not going to baton with the paramilitary because we already know that the lock, which I love, the compression lock, but Spyderco could just make it beefier, so you can't hold up to the impacts, it'll dent that little lock par. So we're not going to do that. But we do have a Sebenza here. And we have a hinder, of course, and we have the blackjack. These are the same knives from yesterday's test. Same. I didn't touch them up. Okay, see, that was Sebenza. That was on camera. Is it? Hinder. So I didn't mess with them since yesterday. Okay. Blackjack. And then the Shikra, which disappeared on me. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Now, so generally speaking, the sharpness, is there. Okay. Just goes straight in, right? Hollow grinds are nice when you're batoning. You get to create a very, very, how I say, just direct straight in notch. Because it just goes straight into the surface you're cutting. See? Okay, that was the Sebenza. Let's see. Okay, good for me. Hinder. Amazing wood, cutters. It always has been. Like I said, it's that geometry. The main question here is basically, when you spend this kind of money, is it worth it? Are you just, there's many things you get. Are you getting perhaps cutting performance? Are you getting a better steel? Perhaps more durability, more refinement, in terms of the design, all that good stuff. You're just, it doesn't always mean just you're paying for cutting performance, but cutting performance would be appreciated, of course, It's kind of like it's supposed to be. So that's why I'm testing this Warren Thomas fixed blade, because I'm curious about cutting performance too, Camera. Okay. And Thomas Shikra. Can you see this? Okay. So you can see how it cuts almost kind of like the Sabenza. You can see what it was doing. You see it was splitting that wood like that, you see? It just goes in too aggressively. Okay, now let's try the other side of the chisel. Over here. Ready? Much easier. No problem really. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, a chisel's quirky. I mean, you gotta give it that. I mean, it's a quirky blade shape. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, it's causing you to switch sides. You know, cutting the wood with this way. You know, slice meat with this way. I mean, it's kind of like, but that's the thing. I mean, you're getting some versatility here. I mean, you have many different options. I mean, the normal Warren Thomas folding knives are meant to be tactical, so this primary bevel is taken very far down, and the secondary bevel is very, very thin. So it's almost like a zero, almost like a Scandi basically. This one is more traditional, similar to like a paramilitary. You know how you would get a paramilitary perhaps from factory-ish. I mean, Spyderco seems to be a little bit more shallow of an angle. But regardless, you can see. So I mean, you have some options here. I mean, you could convex this edge if you want to. That would improve it dramatically. But you know, like I said, it's debatable how strong the titanium is at holding its edge. You know, meaning the stability of the edge from twisting and stuff, which is what we're testing here with this tester here. So a little bit more, huh? So camera. Okay. Right? Let's see. Okay. Now let's see. There is a bend. Now this wasn't really, this was private, and that was obvious by the point. There is a bend, but it's not in the actual blade tip. It's in just that the actual edge. Let's see if I can get it. I mean, on the flip side, I'm not going to do this to a paramilitary or even a Sabenza. They wouldn't handle it either. But you can see, the tip is reinforced, but the actual tip, the actual ground down edge part. Actually sharpen that off. It's catching right now. You can hear it. So, let's see. To be expected, that kind of use. But let's see. The main question is, if I pry with it, and how does it hold up? Okay, so you can see here, the blade is bent. So, you know, gauge that as like, it's not saying it's not good, it's saying that a knife of this thickness that tapers down to that point, which is relatively close to a paramilitary thickness, but a little bit thicker, will bend. Will a paramilitary pry? I'm not going to try that. I think the paramilitary would snap. Titanium, luckily, will bend. So, you know, I'm going to see if I can fix that. This isn't part of the review. This is now just seeing if I can bend it back. And voila! Let's see. If we can get this on camera. Oh, that was lucky. That's good, because Mr. Thomas will fix it, but you know, I'd rather not have to fix it and send it in. But he can definitely, he said, fix these things, issues like that. So let's see. Well, so that's that. Let's try some deep prying though, okay? Oh, this one. Oh well. You get deeper into the wood. Let's see. Alrighty. That of course is no big deal because you got 5 millimeters right here, you know. So it's kind of like a trade-off. Like later I'm just gonna go. You can see actually the bevel starts to increase in height towards the front. That's how I got it. So once I sharpen that down, it'll look normal like that. Actually, it won't even be a big deal. See? So okay, so that is in terms of batoning. I mean, prying with a hinder, of course. You know, hinder's tip is really thick. Let's see. Let's give it a shot though, huh? Okay. Let's see. I mean, hinder, it's like I can't really get a fine point into it. I can't get it deep enough, so but the hinder of course is very stable. It's a very strong, thick blade, and that's what it was designed for. Let's see. I mean, it's like this knife is, let's see, about almost half of what the hinder is. Let me see if I can get this on camera. So whatever strength the hinder had, this Warren Thomas is only half of it. I mean, it's definitely meant to be a slicing knife. See if I can somehow get this on camera without cutting myself and damaging the knives. Hope this is in focus. Let's see. So I had heard that a real outdoor knife anyway should bend over snap, and that makes sense, of course. I mean, because if your knife's gonna do anything, you want it to bend before it ever breaks. Now that this tip is gone, I got a little bit more of a bulk up there. Let's see. Oh, and in terms of, let's see, can it still perhaps cut hair? Let's see. Let me see. I mean, it can. I mean, so. Yes, it can. I mean. So, in terms of edge stability, it's not so bad. Let's check on paper. I mean, any kind of torquing. Let's see a little more of that torquing effect, okay? Now, I don't want to be misleading here, okay? If if you take a paramilitary with a nice bevel on it, this thing slices in the wood like butter. It's like easy as hell. It's just easy. Okay? You take a hinder, same thing, sharpened really well, and you cut into it, and it's just let's see, you can go deeper, so you can much more close to removing chunks, but easy, okay? So I'm not even gonna try to kid about that. This is not as smooth as those. It doesn't like go in as deep or bite as smoothly. You see? It much more makes little peelings. Like I said, that could be the original edge angle, which you can see here is kind of a high bevel. It's not very shallow. Well, you can just see by the reflection and the general height of this area. So it's like it's really steep actually, guys. It's you're gonna have to trust me. I mean, if you go by it, and you'll know. It looks like it's at 45 degrees. I kid you not, it's like a 45-degree angle. 35, 30. I mean, it's a very high angle right there. So I mean, like I said, if I go and take it down more, probable that would do better. You see this? But you know, baton with it's fine. I mean, it's a fixed blade, so. Okay. Let's try some more paper again. Hinder, of course, gonna be good. I mean, let's see if we got more drag. Definitely a snag or two, you know. To be expected. Have to go a little more slow. Let's see. So there's a drag in there. Shikra. Oh, well, this one I didn't beat that much, so this one we're not really going to be able to show much with it, but this is a shallow convex. Oh, here, do a little bit more since people are always very curious about convex blades. Of course, I'm not going to pry with that tip. That tip is too pointy. But let's see. Okay. There's one thing I don't like about this knife compared to Nizula, and it makes me want to just take Nizula and improve Nizula, is that this right here doesn't allow you to use your thumb to push on it. So I prefer Nizula that's just kind of reprofiled. So if you see this, let's see. Like I said, it's got some snags. This is CPM 154, or possibly just 154 cm. So, you know, it's a bit good. You can see where it's kind of resists up here. Right in the beginning, it kind of like skips a little bit. I hope you can see that. Let's see. Actually, really want to make sure you guys can see this. Okay. Good. Actually, it's pretty much fine. Hinder, a little more action on the hinder, but still really good. There's this part in there that snags. Okay, now let's get the Shikra. You know, the Shikra has all these parts are snagging now. So I mean, if you measure a knife's ability to cut by its, you know, in terms of its being smooth through a piece of paper, you might not like it, because you can see it's got those little spots. It's sharp, but it's, you know, can you see that? Yeah, but it's got those little teeth now protruding. But this one, this one was even bent. I mean, this one bent out of shape, and look, it's still. To me, that's pretty good. That's more than I expected. You know, I was worried because, you know, titanium does not have a high Rockwell, so you would think that the edge stability and, you know, retention, all those ideas would, you know, very bend quickly. And heck, the actual blade bent. Yet somehow, look, the edge is still lined up. You know, that's pretty impressive. In terms of sharpening, you can see this. Okay. I can actually that part that tip edge that bent. I mean, this is a factory brand new knife. I mean, almost all knives, like my UK-PK, the tip broke off instantly. You guys know Spyderco tips, you know, very quickly can break if you mess up. My Zan tip broke. I mean, just you get them straight from factory. I mean, usually you always got this very nice, very pointy edge tip. So same thing with this knife. Like I said, you can see that the tip didn't affect the entire tip. It's just, you can see actually where it's sharpening now here. This is the best representation of what got bent out of place. It'll focus. Really, you can see it. I wish I had better camera. I do. Almost. Okay, there we go. You see? You see that part that's reflecting right over here, like a little line across the top? Yeah, this front area curved over a little bit, and now I'm just scraping it back down. But overall, you can see the tip doesn't look as long before anymore. Now it comes more to a stop. I mean, still really good at, like, you know, of course, it's a paramilitary shape, but that's how it held up. All right, thank you. Oh, and then real fast, this is how you would here. This is how I sharpen this knife. Anything work? Let's keep working at this. You guys get this in camera? Hope you guys are getting this. I will admit, fine diamond really is what you want to use. This isn't a high grit. I mean, I think this fine diamond is somewhere around the 600 to 800, maybe 1,000. I don't know. You can Google it later. The DC3 stone, but don't quote me on that. But like I said, just this, no stropping. I just find that the fine diamond works the best. Let's see. Catching on the papers behind it. So you guys saw that? Pretty good, right? See? Pretty good. So that's the Shikra for you. And quickly for a size comparison, here you can see the Shikra is right here, paramilitary, some all Sabenza. Let's see, when you fold the paramilitary up, the Shikra is about the paramilitary plus, like, it looks like 2.5 inches almost, something like that. Here you see it's a small Sabenza size. It's about 3/4 of an inch longer than a small Sabenza when sheathed. And then you can see here, this is a knife that I really like, this SLCC by Strider. Because it's supposed to be a slimline or something like that, concealed carry knife, it's like a small self-defense knife, tactical. And this Shikra is much more versatile in terms of one, being easier to sharpen, and two, also its purposes, and like I said, no rust, all the different pros and cons, right? But you can see here it's about the same length, almost. Let's see, it's if anything, it's just about 1/2 inch longer. And let's see, when you take it out, it is the length of a small Sabenza, which is a great length. I mean, that's just a great cutting tool length. I mean, a lot of people will say that's all you need, a 3-inch blade. So you can see here, paramilitary 2 for reference again. The blackjack, let's see. Now a blackjack, similar to the Azula, you can see here the size. So it's, it's definitely, a little bit bigger than I guess you would say. But look at this. I mean, it's just maybe barely, almost the exact same size. I mean, if you really look at that, that's almost the exact same size. It's only like maybe barely an 1/8 or something of an inch longer. What it is I think, as you can see here on the Warren Thomas, there's that extra length up there compared to the blackjack, which goes, you see? Because Mr. Thomas has it set to be a neck knife, literally, that you wear like this and pull it out. So if I was thinking that this sheath could be improved. There's lots of little variety you could do to it. I mean, I prefer some more holes. You know what I'm saying? It could be tapped many more ways. Perhaps even a lip right here, so you could push it out in one-handed opening more easily. So this could actually fit into the size of this blackjack, an Azula, basically. See, if you had like Yavka or someone make a sheath, a Kydex sheath. So it's actually very cool little knife. Appreciate you guys watching, and thank you to everyone, and I'll continue on with some more testing soon. Thank you.